hippopotamus actually mean? It's a jungle out there, and it's a real jungle in here as the tension mounts. The answer to that question, river horse. Who was the author, the original author of Tarzan of the Apes?
No help from the audience, please.
And the answer to that one, Edgar Rice Burroughs. One common species of crocodile is named after an African river. Which is it? It's the Nile crocodile. Which river flows over the Victoria Falls? Which river flows over the Victoria Falls? The answer is Zambezi. Zambezi. Throughout this particular part of the game, we are being protected, of course, at all times by Mr. William Rushton, who's protecting us from the animals. He's being very brave. He can't really tell port from starboard, in fact. He ordered a glass of starboard only a little while ago. Anyway, who accompanied Richard Burton on an expedition to find the Great Lakes of equatorial Africa in 1857 and had an experience like this? Needless to say, the answer is not Elizabeth Taylor. The answer is John Hanning Speke. Which African bird lays the largest egg? Ostrich. Ostrich, a happy ending, yes, to the jungle quiz. And we will now collect up all of your files, and the invigilator will invigilate.
Right, you two, you've survived the jungle. I want a serious word with you before the next game. You do realise now you are the last two gentlemen left. There are 7 ladies and 2 blokes. The eyes of the manhood of Britain are upon you. Can you cope? Bruce?
No.
Brian, can you cope?
No.
It's a terrible strain upon you, you realise.
Let me give everybody, first of all, the results of part 1 of this vital elimination. The most creative answer came from Lisa, who, in answer to the question, who accompanied Richard Burton on an expedition to find the Great Lakes of equatorial Africa in 1857, replied Stuart Granger. Brian, in fact, and Bruce and Angela were in the lead there. Lisa and Linda are on 5, and Brenda, at the moment, has got to fight back now. She's on 4 at the moment, so good luck, Brenda, as we come into part 2. We're in frontier land now of the... Here we are where the pioneers used to travel west into the setting sun in the endless search for a pair of Polaroid sunglasses. And so we're going to have questions about the wild frontier. Number 1 is to do with this carpet bag here. That very carpet bag. At which period in American history did the carpetbaggers appear on the scene? When did the carpetbaggers appear on the scene? We need it, you know, within the right decade. The answer to that, after the Civil War, or during Reconstruction, and the Civil War was, of course, in the 60s, 1860s. Number 2. William, will you prepare us for number 2?
This, a dead dog.
Right. Do you know the song?
I do. Proudest man in the land of the free, killed him a bar when he was only 3. Warm hands, warm face, warm feet, oh, wouldn't it be? Davy Crockett, king of the wild front.
Very creative. Lionel Bart would be proud of you. The question, Davy Crockett was born on August the 17th, 1786, in which American state? And why don't we have the answer musically?
Born in a tenement in Tennessee.
That's it, Tennessee.
Possibly not a tenement.
No, possibly not a tenement. I think you possibly got that wrong. Right, on to number 3, please. This is a Huckleberry Finn hat. Mark Twain wrote The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. What was the real name of the author? What was Mark Twain's real name? Samuel Langhorne Clemens is the answer. Behind Willie at the moment you can see the Mark Twain there, rather than the Samuel Langhorne Clemens passing by there behind us at the moment. But this is a Bowie knife there, invented by Colonel Jim Bowie. Where did Jim Bowie die? They shot him just as he was desperately trying to invent a gun. But where did he die? The answer, at the Battle of the Alamo. At the Battle of the Alamo. Next. Beautifully handled there. A gold panning pan. In which year did the California Gold Rush begin? Not a reference to George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, but to somewhere in the 19th century. And the answer, 1849. 1849. Okay, we'll collect up and give you the results. Well, the judges have handed me the traditional results. Angela was in the lead in this particular competition, followed by Brian, Maggie, and Bruce. And as to the person to be eliminated at this point, alas, it's sackcloth and ashes and a day of mourning in Hartley Wintney, I'm afraid. Alas, Branda, you came out at the bottom on this one. Thank you very much for being with us. You've been marvelous.
Enjoyed every minute of it.
Have you?
Yes.
I'm delighted.
We put Hartley Wintney on the map.
Hartley Wintney, this is your girl, Hartley Wintney. Absolutely, it's on the map. Thank you for being with us, Brenda. For our winners, we've got a trip on the paddle steamer in the traditional style. And for Brenda, we've got a trip up the creek in the traditional style. See you after the break.
This is your canoe. Would you like to step into it? Here is your paddle. Off you go. Hartley Wintney and step on it.
All my life I've wanted to come on a Mississippi steamboat.
Don't let your old switchboard tie you down. A new British Telecom Merlin phone system will put more system in your business. Ring Free Phone Merlin.
Entertaining the kids during their school holidays isn't easy, is it? So why not get a cheap away day return? Because, let's face it, prices like the ones you see here won't make a big dent in the housekeeping, will they? So come on, come on. Off you go. Now you know just how easy it is to get a little summer act together. Thank goodness this is the age of the train.
Tomorrow morning, take the plunge. Dive into a grapefruit, the all-round breakfast food.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Ultra Quiz visit here to Disneyland, and I'm here now, as you can see, with the mayor of Disneyland himself, Mr. Mickey Mouse, Sir Mickey Mouse, Lord Mickey Mouse. He's here right now. Is it really hard work actually being here every day for the last 30 years? It is hard work. Clearly it's hard work. Well, in that case, how are you going to celebrate the 30th anniversary next year? Because you're not very fat, are you, really? You see, why are you not fat? Oh, it's jogging does it. Jogging does the trick. Will you give a wave to the viewers back in England? To all your fans over there in England, Mr. Mayor? There you are, a personalised love greeting from Mickey Mouse himself. Well, you can see we've been joined now by Pinocchio here. We're in the middle of Fantasyland, and since for our competitors, for one of them anyway, it's getting closer and closer to that fairy tale ending, we thought we'd test their knowledge of fairy tales and of fables as well, with 1 point if they're right on a true or false question, and 1 nose from Mr. Rushton, by arrangement with Pinocchio here, if they're wrong. So at that point, let's call our first competitor, who happens to be Lisa. Come and join us, Lisa. There's Pinocchio. Well, now, on fairy tales, you should do rather well, because you're our youngest competitor at 18, so you must know about... Remember them, do you?
No.
No? Well, here's a question. Geppetto the woodcarver was the person who created Pinocchio. True or false?
True.
Correct! 1 point for Lisa. On your way to the tea party. And let's call now on Angela. The town of Hamelin is famous for its Pied Piper. It is in Denmark. True or false? False it is. It's in West Germany. Well done. Angela's through with 1 point as well. Linda. In the story of the Beauty and the Beast, Beauty asks her father to bring her a rose on his return from his travels. This was obviously before the days of Interflora and so on. True or false?
True.
True is correct. 1 point for Linda.
No sailing noses.
Unemployment for Mr. William Rushton so far. Perhaps Hattie will give you a chance. Hattie Ison's here, direct from Coventry. In the tales of Puss in Boots, the miller gives the cat to his youngest son. True or false?
True.
Correct. Well done. Willie is frustrated 1 more time.
He's got a nose job.
Let's call now on Bruce. Are you, do you know a lot about fairies?
No, not really, no.
Right. Right. Number 5. Aladdin's father was a tailor. True or false? Yes.
I want you to know.
Willie's getting so frustrated.
Thank you very much.
On your way to the tea party, sunshine. And let's call now on Maggie. Maggie, your question. Hansel and Gretel found a house made of chocolate where the old witch lived. True or false?
False.
You've got it absolutely right. Well done. The house was made of gingerbread. Brian, pretty serious question here for you. Rumpelstiltskin taught the miller's daughter to spin silver thread. True or false?
False.
Correct. Well done. He taught her to spin gold thread. Absolutely right. On you go. What an impressive show of knowledge we've got here.
Not myself, eh?
Right. And here's Valerie now. Come and join us, Valerie. In the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, the beanstalk grew from a bean that Jack had been given in exchange for the family pig. True or false?
True.
It's false. William Rushton.
Oh, what a golden moment. I'm sorry to you, Valerie. You want to take your glasses off for this experience? Hang on. Couldn't help me with the other year. It does
There you
things
are.
for you, Valerie.
Thank you, Valerie. In the nick of time, a Pinocchio nose has been won and awarded. So now, on to the next 8 questions in the tea party itself. Oh, Valerie, I think you can relax now, don't you? Now Pinocchio's gone, he won't know, and he won't take it as disrespect, so I think it's all right. So we're ready now for the next part of this section, and this will decide who goes on to survive the next week. And these questions, since we're in Fantasyland, in the world of Walt Disney fantasy, these are basically Walt Disney fantasy questions. So here we go. Everyone has a favorite in the Walt Disney classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but one of the following dwarfs is an imposter. Which is the imposter? Bashful, grumpy, dozy, sneezy, happy, dopey, and doc. And the answer is dozy. The missing dwarf was sleepy. What was the name of the sword pulled from the block of stone by the future King Arthur in Walt Disney's cartoon, The Sword in the Stone? And the answer is Excalibur. Next question. What is the surname of the three children, Wendy, John, and Michael, in the story of Peter Pan? And the answer is, they were all members of the acting profession. Wendy Darling, John Darling, and Michael Darling. Who dramatized Kenneth Graham's story, The Wind in the Willows, and called his work Toad of Toad Hall? And the answer, A.A. Milne, the man who also founded the Automobile Association. And the next question, what was the real name of the author of Alice in Wonderland? And the answer, Charles Lutwidge Dodgson. And the next question, on what does the Sleeping Beauty wound herself to cause her apparent death? And the answer, she wounded herself on a spindle. Terrible thing to happen to a young girl, but luckily she didn't lose too much sleep over it. The Columbia was the first American ship to sail around the world. Who, back in the 16th century, was the first European to sail around the world? And the answer, Ferdinand Magellan. And the final question, in what year did Walt Disney produce his first Mickey Mouse cartoon? $1928. Well, the excitement here is like the heat. It's intense because this was very close, according to the invigilators. 3 people were very close to extinction at this stage. Bruce came out with 5 points, Lisa with 5, and Val fought back from being 1 behind after the nose bit with 5 as well, which leaves, by just 1 point, alas, the representative of the People's Republic of Walsall, alas, is eliminated. Maggie, I'm sorry, it's you.
Oh, it's been great. It's been real fun.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's been real fun having you. And no more...
I know it has.
no more Americans accusing you of being Australian. We won't have to explain that
right,
accent to them anymore.
You're absolutely right, Bruce, and I'll have a pint of the Al Golden Brew.
Very good, very good. Well, we've got a treat for all of the winners and survivors here in the sense that there's a grand parade and the great fireworks display. And for our loser, for Maggie, we've got a malevolent excursion for you in the presence of the Queen of Hearts herself.
Oh, will you tell her I like her chops well done?
She's taking you away even now.
You enjoy this?